Alrighty, here we are with our Saheeli deck. Looking to combo some more people. Actually meant to make a couple of changes, but unfortunately was not able to get those pieces from Card Hoarder. Was having some issues this morning with their trades. Figured I'd hop in and do this league now, and maybe we can see if we can make those adjustments later. But what I was essentially looking to do was take out, I believe, 2 Disdainful Strokes. Let's see if I can figure this out here. Exactly what I did. 2 Disdainful Strokes out of the board. Oh, I want this move for me. Well, anyway, I was taking 2 Disdainful Strokes, 2 Disdainful Strokes, 1 Spell Pierce, both Ceremonious Rejections, and... No Spell Pierce, sorry. 2 Disdainful Strokes, both Ceremonious Rejections, 1 Celestial Purge, yeah, I guess and it was 1 Spell Pierce, and putting in 4 core Firewalkers, and 2 Stony Silence as ways to try and answer the Luris decks that have become a little more dominant, with Luris Burn probably being the best one, and then lots and lots of people liking to play the Scales list as well too, with the new Ozlith and things like that. So, but we weren't able to make those changes this time. We will have to see if that makes all too much of a difference or not. But you know, we were able to get the 4-1 last time without those cards, so you know, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from that 5-1. 5-1 that we'd be looking for in the first place, so... Or 5-0, sorry, that we'd be looking for in the first place, so... they revealed Luris, so this could be, you know, we could get a test immediately as to whether this is worth it or not. Or whether those changes are going to bite us or not. I mean, this is a keep. We go birds on 1 off of basic forest. That'll help us if it's burn, I guess, but also, and maybe even more importantly, we'll start to enable our snow count for this Ice Fang Guado, which chances are we're going to be casting on turn 2. So we shall see. Alright, Luris. Man, this card is just everywhere. Just absolutely everywhere. Well, that probably means burn. It could potentially mean there have still been a couple like Delver lists floating around. Like a Grixis Delver list, or I suppose even possibly Grixis Shadow, something like that. But see what they grab. Chances are it's just burn. I've never understood the sentiment of like playing Scalding Tarn and burn. I guess online it doesn't make much of a difference, but it does seem kind of wild to me at least. Okay, well, we can play this out. Draw our card, see what's up first. A path. I'm just gonna play this and pass. So if they're playing that, I'm starting to think that this might be more prowess than the burn deck, like the mono red prowess deck. I guess it'd be red white, but if they're on Soul Scar Mage, that is. And so I want to be able to leave up path so we can try and answer some stuff, but also we could be in a spot where if they just go to attack, we can just trade our Ice Fang. But, excuse me, depends on if they have a land here or not. But the scary part is if they get to like gut shot us or something, could potentially be something to watch out for. So they do have land, so we'll see what they do. Okay. Wild to me how these baubles have just skyrocketed in price ever since this card's printing. Makes sense, but still is pretty insane. See, that's the worst for us actually. So I think we're gonna need to path them because this Lava Dart's just gonna get to eat this Ice Fang anyway. Yikes. Hold on. So if we... I just don't think we're ever going to get a spot where this Ice Fang is going to get to do anything. But, man, we'll take so much damage if we do that. Maybe we shouldn't have played out this Bauble just so we could path and Ice Fang, even though the Ice Fang won't have... Yikes. This is a really tricky one. I think we're just going to float a white. Say okay. Probably end up pathing the Soul Scour. Now that does feed their whatchamacallit, feed their lava dart a little better, which obviously is important and obviously is relevant, but there's not much we can really do here. I think we're gonna have to pat this one too. We just have to keep our life total as high as we possibly can. They can't really function very well without all the creatures, and the fact that we have path to take care of them is good for us. Okay, they'll see our top card, so they know we have this Saheeli. Can't cast it, just a bit of a bummer. We're gonna hope that they go for, like, you know, one drop, lava dart your face, skewer the critics, something like that. And we can get that lava dart out of there. Okay, so Luris, and they'll get to redo their... Yeah, they get to redo their bauble. Yep. All the card advantage from every deck ever. I understand. Oh my goodness. Seal of Fire is a big pain for us, actually. Because this stops Saheeli Combo. Yikes. This might just be like an absolute nightmare matchup. I think we run this out just because we want to draw the card. We know it's going to die. Like, they have just a billion ways to kill this card. So it's probably not going to trade, so we might as well just get the value we can to just draw off of it right now. Curious if they'll just, like, fire this off right now or something. So they want to see what card we're drawing. So they know we have another path. That's good for us, I guess. So let's go to combat. Let's attack. Bit of a bummer they know about this, because otherwise they might shoot off this Seal of Fire at it instead of the Lava Dart, but chances are they're going to Lava Dart it. I guess it doesn't really matter. They'll take their one. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Might as well get rid of it, right? There's no real reason to take the one anyway. So we will go get an island here. We can place a Saheeli off this, go up with it, you know, so we path Luris on their upkeep. Jace, is Jace good enough? It might be, just because it's another thing for us to do that this Seal of Fire is going to be kind of pressured on. We just don't want them to be able to Seal of Fire us forever, kind of thing. That's a big problem. I do feel like we're in a pretty good spot because we are at 17 on turn 4, but they also have our combo locked down right now, which is a bit of a problem. So that's part of the reason, or really is the reason that I kept the Jace, is just because I want to be able to... Thanks. I want to be able to try and, you know, handle some of the things that they're doing. So let's scry here first. I'm going to keep that on... interesting. So, we know their Seal of Fire can kill it. But I kind of want them to use their Seal of Fire on it. The way we get punished here is if they have... If they do, in fact, have another Lava Dart, we could be in for a world of hurt. But I think this card's fine. It's just another redraw. And then I guess we're just going to Felid our Guardian, bounce our Astrolabe, draw that card. Okay, seems fine. Now, could run into some issues with them. Crack that, draw a card. Yep. Man, we've given them 3 lands, so it does feel bad. But you know, Path does have a real downside, but you kind of have to deal with it. Kind of wishing we had Uro somewhere in this deck. I feel like that could potentially be a miss, but another issue of very expensive Magic Online cards. They do, in fact, have another Lava Dart. Where's this going? At us? Interesting. Oh, for a light up the stage. Got it. So they do have that lava dart that we were worried about. So they get a land drop and a Manamorphose off that. If we can find any way, like any way at all, to get them to shoot off the Seal of Fire and the lava dart, we'll be in a good spot. But I think that might be a bit of an ask for us at this point. Chances are we're just gonna have to block with this Felidar Guardian. Awkward. Having no way to gain life in the main deck is a real problem. And another light up the stage. Yikes. Yeah, they are... It's wild that the mono red deck now has dramatic amounts of card advantage to the point where it just like makes us look like a chump. That is kind of nuts. Okay, so they are able to keep up both Seal of Fire and that. That is a problem for us. Because otherwise we could rip... I guess Teferi wouldn't do it. Just going at us. So they can try... Well, they can already light up the stage anyway, right? So they could do that post-combat no matter what. I think we just say no blocks here. I know that doesn't look good against, you know, taking 5 damage here, but they already dealt us damage. They already get to light up the stage, and I wouldn't mind them, you know, tapping more mana or whatever. Just doesn't make a whole lot of a difference to us at this point. I don't know what our real outs are here anyway. Topping this Jace may have just been wrong, but my thought process at the time was like, if I can Jace minus on this Prowess, then I could potentially, whatchamacallit, I could potentially force them to Seal of Fire on the Jace, and that could be okay for us. That's not a bad draw, is it? What happens if we minus the Saheeli on the Felidar Guardian and target this just to draw a card? We get to draw a card, puts our Saheeli to 3. With our Saheeli at 3, they can Seal of Fire and Lava Dart it down, but they would have to use both. And with us having Ice Fang Coatls here, double Ice Fang Coatls, now I'm just gonna go up. I think we still need to find like a Lightning Helix or something like that at this point to really feel comfortable in this game. Not what we're looking for. We'll just pass. Also because this second Ice Fang Coatl could put us in a spot where, so now they do have to trigger light up the stage, so they may even just like Lava Dart our face first main here anyway. Yeah, like tap Mountain, Lava Dart your face, so they can light up the stage here. That makes sense. And then they're down to just 2 pieces of interaction, or just 1 piece of interaction with this, I guess, for right now. So now they're going to, yep, light up the stage. Let's get this clear over here. They can still play Scalding Tarn and Abbott. They hit a Mishra's Bauble, okay. That's fine. All of this is okay. It's not fantastic for us, but it's okay. So they're targeting themselves to see if they want to fetch before they Abbott. So they want this card off of Abbott, so that's not great for us. It's another light at the stage. Is that all of them? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that is all 4 of them. Okay. Like I said, they are just churning through their deck. It's unreal. No Lava Dart. Lightning Bolt. Okay, that is a bit of a problem, because now they can... I don't believe they have us dead here just because we have this as a blocker too, but they can use Lightning Bolt this. Okay, that's good for us actually, a proactive Lightning Bolt like that. Now we just have to hope that their last card isn't like Lava Dart. their last card is Lava Dart were in a World of Hurt. My assumption here is they're going to Seal of Fire this as well too. It is a Lava Dart. Oh my goodness. Are we just dead now? We have to block one of these. No, they can just... Let's draw off this. I think this has to be a path for us to survive. Yep. Yeah, it has to be a path for us to live here. And it's not. Yep, that's it for us. Wow, that was a wild start out of them. Definitely wish we had those core Firewalkers at this point, because boarding those in would be fantastic, but unfortunately we can't. Alright, so we do have Spell Pierce. I do think Celestial Purge is important here because it does help us to answer, it does help us to answer the, what's the guy? Discard your hand, draw 3. That guy. We need to be able to answer that. So we have all of these as possibilities. I'm thinking Mana Leak is just not where we want to be. Trading 2 mana for their 1 mana spell every time is just going to be rough. I don't like this against the Seal of Fire. Seal of Fire / Lava Dart deck. It can potentially force them to crack some of those things, but I just don't like having to play that out, let them cast their thing, and then kill us kind of thing is really rough. I think this is just more where we want to be. Something along these lines. So we'll give this a shot. Obviously, I wish we had Core Firewalker here. That would be ideal. We'd be able to just hold off the ground completely, gain a bunch of life, but you know, weren't able to capitalize on that. So bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. All right, so we have Oath of Nissa on 1, Lightning Helix on 2, Timely on 3. I think that's good. We may even just save the Lightning Helix. Well, I guess we can't Lightning Helix on 2 because we will have to Oath of Nissa, and that's probably fine because we're gonna want to be at somewhat of a lower life anyway in order to cast this Timely. Timely also not the greatest against Lava Dart because, you know, they can just Lava Dart with 1 card take out 2 of our blockers, which is potentially problematic, but I just know now that we weren't able to make these changes, we are just 10 out of 10 just gonna run into all the Luris decks that punish me for not being able to make those changes. It's gonna hurt. It is most definitely gonna hurt. I think we just take Mountain here. Is taking Mountain here fine? Or do I want to take another Felidar? I kind of want to take another Felidar. I don't want to take Birds. No, you know what? I lied. I am going to take Birds because next turn we can play out Birds. Play out Birds and play our Hallowed Fountain tapped. We run into an issue there if they're not on creatures, and then our Timely can't create creatures, but then we could be in a spot where we try to Lightning Helix, so that could be fine for us as well too. Also, I feel like this deck struggles if they're not playing out a bunch of creatures proactively. They really have their 8 prowess creatures they're looking for, and everything else is just kind of so let's just Spirit up. We shall see. Spell Pierced. Now I kind of want to play this, but then we won't be able to... Oh, that's so awkward. I think I'm okay with taking 2. Play out this Birds. Pass. Now, obviously, I think they're going to assume that we have Path, which could change some things. I just really want to, Spell Pierce a Light Up the Stage here or something. It also would not be the worst to Spell Pierce the front half of a Lava Dart here, forcing them to sacrifice a land. Would not be the end of the world. Additionally, paying our 2 life will ensure, without a doubt, that our Timely Reinforcements is going to do what we want it to do. Kind of hoping they go Prowess Dude, Lava Dart your bird. Is kind of what I'm hoping they do. Not a Swift Spear, the other one, obviously. Because then we can spell pierce. We would force them to sacrifice down a land. If they do, we can still... Okay, so that's the one I didn't want them to have, but oh well. Mistress Bauble. Okay. We're not going to spell pierce that. That's fine. Looking at our top card. Okay, so they know what we're drawing next. Got it. Really hoping this is attack light up the stage. This sets us up to... No, it's not. Yikes. Okay. So we're getting really punished for holding up this spell pierce. Because they just have all their creatures. So what is this card? Flooded Strand. So what if we... Huh. This is tricky because I do want to be able to take out one of these threats immediately. It's probably the... Yikes. It's probably just Soul Scour Mage. I think it's going to be... We're going a little dangerous here on our life total, but I think this is going to be Fetch Mountain. Lightning Helix this, go back to 15. Now we can Spell Pierce off the birds. And it's just always another one of those. Always. Yep, targeting us. So they know what our next card is. We don't like that, but that is okay. We weren't planning on blocking this turn anyway, and them getting this out before we have our timely reinforcements is actually fine for us. So, chances are, this is now a light up the stage turn. I'm really hoping it is. If we can't get something out of this Spell Pierce like immediately, we are going to be in trouble. Okay, so this one we are going to Spell Pierce. It's obviously not great because they can, if they really feel like they need to, they can just flash it back here. But I think that we're in a spot where we need this birds around. Yeah, they are going to keep that around, so they know what our next card is. It's a Saheeli. Oh, so that's why they kept that around. That does make sense. Yeah, I mean, we have to just... have to timely. Man, this has been a really good start out of them with double Mishra's Bauble, 3 out of their 8 creatures in their top 10-ish cards too. That's tricky for us because if they're on like one of these, we can sometimes be in an alright spot to be able to. We can be in an alright spot sometimes to just like path one creature when they draw another one, try and like Lightning Helix or path that one, or even like Celestial Purge. Because they're not really a burn deck. If they don't have a bunch of these creatures, they can't really deal us a whole lot of damage. I mean, yeah, they can like, you know, Lava Dart us and things like that, but like that's not really gonna win them the game. Yikes! Another Crash Through. That's really good. Man. This deck is really good. This prowess deck is definitely solid. So I feel like we're just dead here. So if we block, we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they lightning dart or lava dart one of them, we take 5. 4, we take 9. We go to 1. So I think right up front we just have to double block one just to save some more damage. I mean, we're just dead to like a lightning bolt here as well too, right? If they just like go bolt your face, lava dart off their mountain, we're dead. They turn forward us through us gaining 9 life and putting 3 blockers into play. That's wild. Of course. And then we rip a Celestial Purge to have been able to answer all of that. Yikes. That is tricky for Anapath. Oh my gosh. See, and this is why I don't feel like this matchup is actually... Sorry, I was there talking about the red matchup, and it cut out on me. That's why I don't, I don't feel that matchup is really all that bad. Maybe we should have just mulliganed for a little more creature interaction. Because of the fact that, Crash Through does nothing if they don't have creatures. Light Up the Stage is never going to do anything if we don't allow them to hit us with creatures, right? Lava Dart is not a super effective card, once again, if they don't have creatures to turn into 3/3s while they're casting those Lava Darts. So maybe just a mishap on not mulliganing quite aggressively enough. That could very well be the case. Anyway, if we're going to get into this game, we're looking at on the draw, Mana Leak / Lightning Helix, Felidar Guardian, 4 lands. I think this is close actually, because we are allowed to, if they are trying to get on the board aggressively, Lightning Helix is a good card. I think this is close. I'm gonna have a little bit of faith in our deck here. That will draw something to do between turns 1 and 3 outside of just these cards that we have. Now, obviously, they're on Tron, and they kept 7. So our only hope here now is that they, or so we're just going to draw all lands probably, is that they only have 1 threat and we are able to Mana Leak it. That's our only real hope here. Everything else is just going to be donezo for us. Eldrazi Tron, oh thank goodness. Every time my opponent goes Tron land map and then plays a non-Tron land immediately after that, I just feel so much better. Sacred Foundry will grab. I guess that's a bit of a punish for having drawn that one. Yeah, that's a bit of a punish there. So chances are this is going to have to... We're going to want to start grabbing more basics here. We'll probably have to grab Basic Island, Mana Leak, whatever it is they play. Play a Windswept Heath, grab Basic Forest. Here's this tower. So they are going for Tron, as opposed to just another Eldrazi Temple. It's notable. Yeah, so get this Thought-Knot Seer out of here. Grab this. Yeah, we're going to plan to grab Basic Forest. Is it better to do that at this point? I guess so, because next turn we might end up Felidar Guardian blinking that. Really should have grabbed like a Steam Vents earlier with this and we'd be in a better spot. I guess we still wouldn't have the white for this, but that's probably fine. Yeah, we'll grab our Saheeli. Let them know what's up. And we'll pass the turn. So we're not actually holding anything up, but I mean, since we did just Mana Leak them, maybe they will hope that, that's going to be the case again. Play a Matter Reshaper. That's what you want to play. You want to play out a Matter Reshaper. It's not an Eldrazi spell. What are you looking to do here? It is an Eldrazi spell. It's Reality Smasher. Yeah, that one's a bit of a problem. Good news here being that we will get to Ice Fang Waddle to trade with it, but we are going to take more damage off of it. If they have another one, we might just end up like dying. So, okay, a couple things to consider here. One, we could Felidar Guardian. If we Felidar Guardian, blink, I guess it'd be Oath. If they have another one, we go to 1. I think that might have to be our play to win line here. Because if they do have another Reality Smasher, which would make sense, if they do have another Reality Smasher and they just go Reality Smasher, attack, and we Ice Fang trade, then we're not in a spot where we can end up taking 9. We'll go to 3. We'll go to 2 off this fetch, and then we can't win through this other Reality Smasher. So I think our play to win line is go for it. Now, what that kind of stinks is that since they know we have this Saheeli, they can try to play around that by, you know, if they do have a Thought-Knot Seer, they can do that instead. Or something to that degree. It does inform their plays a decent amount here, but there's just not really anything we can do about that at this point. Really wishing this was a path to exile, because then if we could blink this, I mean, I don't care if we have to discard this other land at this point. I think we take another Saheeli, so now we're Thought-Knot Seer proof, so that's good for us actually, I guess. We're Thought-Knot Seer proof, we're Reality Smasher proof. We are not Dismember proof. We are not super huge go over the top because I accidentally Tron you proof. And I just... ugh. Every time. Every time. And another play. Oh my goodness. That'll eat a Lightning Helix. Chalice on 1. That's okay. We are not in the worst shape here, I guess, actually. Not great, obviously, but we are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can go land, go. We can Lightning Helix this, Ice Fang attempt to trade with that, and then next turn we can attempt to combo off. Okay, you can have that one. I'm not going to give you the Walking Ballista that kills us. So... so we have to... Lightning Helix. So they have Matter Reshaper +1. It just can't be Dismember. But maybe, with us running this out, maybe they'll feel like they need to Dismember this. I mean, it could also just be another Walking Ballista we can just die, right? That's also a not super unrealistic possibility here. Okay. Please just play out your card. No. Okay, I guess actually we lived through a big Ugin if that's what it is, but that looked like a Walking Ballista. So frustrating! So frustrating. Man. So I have a personal vendetta against Eldrazi Tron only because the only times I ever lose to the deck is when they Tron me. I never lose to their Eldrazi half. So it's always frustrating because you feel like, man, if only I could have, you know, if only our opponent could have done something. Like, they built their deck in one way, and they accidentally kill you with, like, the second half is just so frustrating sometimes. It just really stinks, but, oh well, I guess. Not a whole ton to do about that. Moving on to Game 2. Lightning Helix is not great, with the only things that it takes care of being a small Ballista and, Matter Reshaper. Neither of those necessarily being great. Disdainful Stroke is obviously great, Ceremonious Rejection is obviously great. A problem we could run into is Cavernous Souls can really mess us up since they're in Eldrazi Tron as opposed to regular Tron. So that could be a problem. Maybe even this Detention Sphere to try and answer a permanent once it's resolved, because we are getting rid of a couple ways to do that. A few things to consider here. Huh. Ice Fang Quado can trade with their big stuff. Also dies to Walking Ballista, which isn't great. I'm kind of thinking we might just, like, shave some of these one-drop mehs in the face of Chalice. Just like that. And just hope we don't get, you know, because that way if we do get Chaliced, at least some of our one-drops are out of the deck, and we're not just going to draw a whole bunch of redundant ones. I don't want to cut too many of those cards, but I think that might be okay. Maybe it should have even just been 2 Oath of Nissa. Okay, so we have Ceremonious Rejection followed up by Saheeli. Is that enough? I'm gonna keep. Ceremonious Rejection is really high impact, having our combo card that is tougher for them to interact with. Whoa! Exile the Walking Ballista? That can't be good for us. Holy crap, their hand has to be just nutso. With them doing this, I feel like they're going to try to Chalice us on one, which does stink, because we will have to Ceremonious Rejection that. No, they won't. Okay, that's fine then, actually. I'm going to go grab Steam Vents here. Okay, this will grab Basic Forest here. Oath. Okay. More lands is obviously not what we were looking for in our, what, 21 land deck I think it might be on? I think we're on 21? I'm not sure. Maybe we're on 22? I don't remember. But that is a downside to Oath of Nissa. Okay, so they're just on, like, mono big stuff. So Thought-Knot Seer's coming down this turn. Oh my goodness. We've drawn... The only non-land we've drawn drew us a land, so it doesn't really count, I guess. Yeah, we... Obviously this keep was skeptical, but I figured with 5 lands and all the live draws in our deck, we could have very easily, you know, been able to do something. Just a bit of a bummer that we've drawn all lands and haven't been able to draw something else. So now we're really looking for a path to exile for this draw step, because if they Thought-Knot Seer us here, we are going to have to Ceremonious Rejection that. If we Ceremonious Rejection that, we can still lose our Saheeli to a Reality Smasher, which is definitely a problem. So we kind of need to draw a path to exile here, or another Ceremonious Rejection, or Disdainful Stroke, or Faladar Guardian. So this is tricky. So they don't have any more lands, or else they wouldn't have just Gemstone Mine themselves. So considering they don't have any more lands, we are more likely to get Thought-Knot Seered. And in that situation, it would make sense to Faladar Guardian to try to find another Saheeli. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to Faladar Guardian, Blink Oath, hope that what they have is Thought-Knot Seer, and we can rip a Saheeli off this, so they feel like they have to Thought-Knot Seer us. And then when they feel like they have to Thought-Knot Seer us, then we can... Nope. Cats. Well, that's an okay draw. It's not great. Because if they do Thought-Knot Seer us, they can just take that. Well, I guess they have to take the Saheeli if they Thought-Knot us, but... Just Mattery Shaper. No land. No land. No land. No land. No land. Let us do it. Let us do it. Yes! Oh, we ripped another one anyway. Alright. Alright, let's get in for the Click Fest. Bounce this. Always yield. Yes. Love when our opponents are just like, go ahead, click through it. Alright, fine, I'll take the minute off my clock. This is not the most click-intensive combo. I'm gonna try to save targets. Always yes. We'll just see. I've been told this doesn't work. Yeah. because they're different instances of Felidar Guardian. But this is a relatively, you know, reasonable click rate for a Moto combo, all things considered, so... Especially since we're... I mean, I just think this is silly, because we have 18 minutes on our clock, and we're about to go into Game 3, not even to Game 2, so, like, what are the chances you're going to get us with clock here, opponent? Like, that's interesting. Just don't think that's going to be reasonable here, but, I mean, to each their own. If our opponent enjoys sitting here watching me click, then, you know, they can sit here and watch me click, and that's fine. I don't mind it. I do enjoy the Splinter Twin-esque kill here, so... I have heard, I've never gotten to actually play with it on Moto, but I have heard that the Splinter Twin and Kiki Jiki combos are easier because they do allow you to save your targets for Kiki Jiki and I believe for Splinter Twin as well too. I don't know, never actually gotten to play with them, so I'm not 1000% positive on that one, but that would be nice if that were the case. Just because, you know, this way when your opponent goes, yeah, do it, you go, okay, fine. And it'll take, you know, instead of a minute, it'll take 30 seconds or something like that, but, I mean, it is what it is. Alright, should be good here. Put that on top, I guess, just in case. Even decided to block. They're like, yeah, I'm also gonna block. So interesting here. A thought I'm having is Spell Pierce over Mana Leak on the draw with Chalice in mind. Problem with that being Mana Leak can answer their creatures and Spell Pierce can't. But I guess the way they're going to beat us is more through their non-creature spells than anything else. I'm gonna go like this. Split the difference between the Disdainful Strokes and the Mana Leaks. I think they're both, like, equally good for the most part. Can we keep this? We have turn 1 Oath. I'm gonna keep this because if they do like Chalice us and we need to get rid of it, we do have this Detention Sphere. And we have turn 1 Oath, turn 2 hold up Disdainful Stroke. So unless they turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer us, we're in a pretty good spot. If they do turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer us, we can... I guess we do have 2 answers to it. So unless they turn 1 Chalice and turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer us, which I guess they could... Can they do it on 4 cards? Is that even possible? I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna run out this Oath just in case we do get Chalice. Then we've got this path as like a backup for later. Them not leading on Eldrazi Temple is actually good for us here. Grab a basic. And this is actually, our opponent's kind of demonstrating for us why I don't enjoy, I guess, probably just play that out next turn. Why I don't enjoy Eldrazi Tron, because if you are playing regular Tron, at this point, a mulligan to 4 is not a death sentence. You can still do a lot of good things on a mulligan to 4. However, on a mulligan to 4 with Eldrazi Tron, you're just clunked up with a lot of things that don't let you enable Tron, and that aren't as high impact once you do enable Tron. So like if our opponent mulls to 4 and just like turn 4 Thought-Knot Seers us, like, okay. You know, now we're to the point where we have a bunch of answers for that, and I think that's just fine for us. We're just going to play this tapped. I don't want them to resolve a Thought-Knot Seer if we can avoid it. Obviously, if they get to... We could run into an issue with having not played the Windswept Heath only because they could Cavern into Thought-Knot Seer. But if that's happening, I think that's fine. We're going to take the opportunity to Spell Pierce this. Just because we don't have a whole ton of targets at this point. I'm not super worried about Chalice because we have an answer to it. So even if they went land Chalice, we'd be fine. We have 2 answers to it, I guess, with this Teferi. Now I think... Yeah, I'm going to play this out. If they do get to a spot where they land Thought-Knot Seer us, we can... okay, that should be fine. If they crack this to make a land drop... Really? So they have something to hold up, so we are just going to... Give me a land. Oh, I didn't even activate this. What am I doing? We're going to play Teferi now. Play Teferi. Go up with it. And now we should be in a spot where if they crack, get a land, Thought-Knot Seer us, or Reality Smasher us, either one we can Disdainful Stroke it. If they have Dismember up, which I believe they did because of their wanting to hold that land up, even though they could have done it anyway. Yeah, so we're just gonna kill them here. Sweet. Good, clean, fun. Get the Breeding Pool. Pay 2 life. I would like for this spell to not resolve. Then I would like to kill you. Wonder if they'll make us click through it the second time. Usually once like something like this happens, they don't. If they do, it's more of a salty situation. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I mean, it would make sense to mulligan to 4 and then miss a land drop. That is a thing that happens. So you can win only if I miss land. It's the only way I could have won. Is unreal. Alright. I mean... I don't know about that. I've played a fair share of Modern, and the Tron decks do mulligan what I would consider to be a higher percentage than most other decks. But you know, that's probably a pretty good example of the whole, like, you know what, Moto can be super frustrating, playing a whole lot of games back to back to back, things like that. Then when you mulligan, it's, you know, it's frustrating. But I think our hand was really, really solid there. I think we are going to probably take that from them regardless, because the Disdainful Stroke, the multiple Planeswalkers to be able to answer some things, scry through some things, as well as the path to answer stuff if we don't get Chaliced. If we do get Chaliced, we could we could have, what's it called? Detention Sphered it, and then we could have pathed their stuff. So, I don't know that they had a super reasonable out outside of, like I was saying, turn 1 Chalice into turn 2 Thought-Knot was really the only way they were going to take that game, is what it felt like. But alright, well, let's move on. Moving into our next one with some more combos, some more Luris. Alright, man, I just... These 3-spell not super interactive hands are always interesting. What I don't want this to be is Boggles with a play on 1, I guess. Also would not love for this to be burn. I'll keep. I think with this deck, mulliganing can be kind of tricky. It's less scripted than with something like, you know, Tron, where it's just like, do I have this thing, right? You don't just mulligan every game to having the combo. You need to have some interaction as well too, which is super relevant. Okay, so this is probably, okay, That's a bit of a bummer for us. With these other basics in here, I'm going to grab Steam Vents. So we do have access to everything, and we still have the colors that we could need, and the basics that we could need for Snow Permanence. So I'm just going to let this... Obviously, there's nothing I can do to stop it from happening, but this is just going to happen. I was just going to say, they may take Mana Leak, especially if they have another discard spell. That's not bad for us, because now we can just play this out. Kind of get another card. Really get our mana unlock, although obviously we were fine in the first place. That's an alright pickup to have. Chances are, if they're playing a Inquisition Luris deck, that they are playing a more fair version of the deck, which could very well lead to Ice Fan Quaddle being good for us, and maybe even needing to be Inquisition tier. So we shall see. That being said, Teferi is pretty egregious, and if my opponent doesn't take it, I'm just going to Windmill Slam that card next turn, because once you get that into play, it can be really, really tricky for opponents. Yeah, that makes sense. They have another one? Okay, I was gonna say, oh my goodness, that'd be wild if they use all their mana to do all of that. Now, do we want to just run out this Saheeli? They don't have another discard spell. It would give us the possibility to rip into combo. Yeah, I'm feeling it. It also puts, if we, scry a decent card, it puts it on the top as opposed to in our hand, which means that they do have another discard spell that is good for us. Maybe just get Forest here. Turn this into blue. Cast this Saheeli. Go up with that. Can hit the bottom. So, looks like we're playing against like Abzan, Luris, probably Tarmogoyfs and Scavenging Oozes. Could even be Hex Drinkers, like we saw out of the green-black opponent a while ago in our last league, I believe. For threats, I'm trying to think of what else they can play. Dark Confidant, of course, that one makes sense. What else they could have? Didn't we just bottom that? Interesting. I kind of want to crack this. Get an island. Scry. Try to hit a lightning helix. Another one. Play this out now. See if we can hit a lightning helix or a path. Either of which would be pretty great here. Path, sweet. So we're just gonna... I suppose this triggers on their upkeep. They already have 3 lands. I'm just gonna do this now. And then I'm gonna play the birds out. Obviously, giving them a land is not great, but I think we're at a spot where it's fine, all things considered. They are a Luris deck, so it's not like we're ramping them into a 5-drop. We are allowing them potentially to double spell, but I mean, I'd rather give them the potential to double spell than the certainty of a card. So we shall see. Good news is they can't have a Liliana. Even if they did, I guess it wouldn't actually be that great for them. It would just make us discard a land and then we're top decking with 5 mana. So it wouldn't be insane anyway. Obviously we're live to just rip combo. However, I would love a second shot at another Teferi here. I think that would be our best case situation, just so we can, lock things down. Because chances are they are on Abrupt Decays or Assassin's Trophies or something like that, and the fact that they were willing to leave us with this Saheeli does make me feel like they have some way to answer it, which likely is an Abrupt Decay. Could be a trophy, but more than likely is an Abrupt Decay. So just drawing Felidar Guardian is not great for us. Sure, you got us. Damn, look at all those cards gone from our graveyards. I'm actually a bigger fan of playing against this than I would be, I believe, against Jund, because against Jund I would be really scared of them going Croxos. Here would be a really, really problematic permanent. It would just drain our life total pretty high. Lingering Souls. That one I'm pretty sure we're fine with. So chances, so they have Path. That's their card. It's not great here. That tapped. Pass the turn. Having Path isn't great for us because that's a way to interact with the creature. I would much prefer at this point for them to want to interact with the Planeswalker, because that could put us in a pretty decent spot of, you know, now that we have the second Saheeli. I'm not going to trade these off for Lingering Souls tokens. I think it's fine for them to get their damage in. Yeah, she's fine going to 4, especially with another Saheeli in hand. So chances are we're seeing Flashback, Lingering Souls, Luris, Nile Spellbomb? Probably. 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Yeah. Grimflayer. Now kind of wishing we had that Path. I guess I could have just anticipated that Luris itself could have been a problem for us. Another Saheeli. Well, we got it. Curious. So we can kind of force them to use removal on our snake if we minus on it. We don't like that though. Scry here. Lightning Helix. That one can stay, because that can answer Luris. And chances are they are going to... Sorry, I'm debating if I want to play this other Saheeli out. Minus on the Astrolabe. Draw the Helix now. Does that change anything? Not really, and it makes our Saheeli die for certain, which is a problem, so no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste 2 Saheelis, basically. I think at that point that would be pretty rough for us. Okay. Really regretting not having this Path, because they are going to get this back. See if they can crank it all the way up. Okay, that's fine. You are allowed. You are allowed, in fact, to take that. Now we're almost to the point where, like, this Saheeli is going up and this Lightning Helix could just kill them. I guess the problem with that is the fact that Luris has lifelink. Paying cost just for Luris, probably. Yeah, okay, so Luris is coming down first. They can get back their Grimflayer. They can now not get back their Grimflayer, and now that we have a removal spell, that's good for us. I still feel like their last card is Path to Exile here. They've just played in such a way where I feel that has to be the case. So let's see here. We will block here. They will still get their trigger, but it will die. And then we can... They've already played their land for turn, so then we can Lightning Helix Luris. And they can't get their Grimflayer back. So that's good for us. Let's see what else we got on top here. That one can hit the bottom easily. I think we will go to their upkeep before doing this. Or if they, you know, just tap down, we can do that on end step as well too. If they tap down from the Nile Spellbomb. It doesn't make a huge difference, but I just want to... Yeah, that's fine. I just don't want to inform them of any decisions that we're making quite yet. Yep, try your card. Kill Luris. So now we are likely playing against Path, these Lingering Souls tokens are a nuisance for sure. Hopefully this isn't Tarmogoyf. Okay, Scavenging Ooze. I guess that's better for us than Tarmogoyf, because Tarmogoyf would be a, what, 4/5, I believe, at this point. So now we are kind of running thin, especially if their last card is Path, which I don't know what their last card could be outside of Path to Exile or Fatal Push. I guess it could be Abrupt Decay, but they are just using a ton of resources to get us here, if that's the case. What do we want to draw here? Birds? Definitely not it. So if we go up with this, we can force them to use whatever removal spell they have to kill this, because this would go to 4, we could block 1, 2, it would take 3. So it would force them to do that. And then we would be basically top decking against what they have going on right here. Not great for us, but might be the spot we're in. Hopefully what they have is push, actually, not path, because if we keep a good card, like if we keep a card on top and then they path us, it'll be really awkward. I have to imagine it is. I mean, they've left up white every time. I don't remember if they've left up black every time as well, too. I know they've left up white every time, though. Man. We love these lands, don't we? The 2 go to 5 here. I mean, that's not nothing. We're now to the point where, like, other Lightning Helix is. I mean, they only have 2 things in the yard, so they're effectively at 7. Means that we could get in with some level of mediocre beats at some point, and then a Lightning Helix could could finish them. Yep, you can exile your stuff. You know, we can just pass here. They are going to eat both of those. I guess they can't have any other lures. Sure, just eat our stuff just because. Yeah. Guess we could potentially be a Snapcaster deck. Alright, so let's see here. I think we're going to have to throw ourselves at the mercy of these cards. That's just going at us. Well, we will take the 4. That's perfectly fine. We'll just block 1. Keep this Saheeli around. I mean, chances are we're just stone cold done. So here, yikes. Yep. Flash that back. Yeah, I mean, just playing in a way where this card has to be path. Bit of a bummer. And I know this is going to be Felidar Guardian too. We're just going to cry. No, it's not. Is there anything we can do here? Probably not. 4, 8. So I guess we should stop, because if they do go to path on end step here, we could mana leak it and survive, but they just untapped, so. Yeah, this game was really awkward. We had a bunch of lands we tried to draw through and just couldn't really do anything with them. Just kind of stinks. So you have to send. They just go all at me. Yeah, I feel like you need to kill Saheeli. Chances are you need to kill Saheeli at least. Yeah, so at least 3. I mean, you have a 2-turn clock on me anyways, right? It doesn't really matter. Kind of want to just jump in front of this snap. So if we take 5 here, go to 9, but we block this, they only have 8 of those. So I'm going to jump in front of this, and if we rip a path, we could get 1 more turn, although I don't know what that could potentially lead to. Now that our Saheeli's gone. Okay. Yeah, so now we're just... I don't think we have any outs. Yep. I think we're just gonna take our draw step and die here, most likely. Yep. Alrighty. Begin sideboarding. Alright, so most definitely these cards right here. I do want to be able to answer. Let's see, I guess them being. And Lingering Souls is so awkward for us. Oh, the other card that I was also adding was a Supreme Verdict as well, too. Obviously, we don't have that one either. I am kind of in the camp where I kind of just don't want the counter spells against this deck. I am kind of just leaning towards like this and just playing more to the board at this point. Does leave us more vulnerable, obviously, to Path to Exile, but I mean, I just think the way that we lose this game has a lot to do with the way that that game just worked out, which is, you know, discard, get on the board kind of thing. And we are in kind of an unfortunate spot where not having Wrath means that a single Lingering Souls could just run away with this game, which is not where you want to be, obviously, but it just being able to pressure Planeswalkers in such an effective way is just brutal for us. I think this one has to be a mulligan. It's not great. I think this is a keep. Kind of want to just put back this. Go Island, Astrolabe. Yeah. Man, this matchup doesn't feel great, I guess, actually. Lingering Souls is a big problem for us. Big problem. Yep, definitely happy I bought him to land instead of a spell. Especially against, you know, a potential Thoughtseize incoming. If they target us, then we're assuredly getting Thoughtseized here. Did they? Target themselves, so we're not getting Thoughtseized here most likely, so that's good. Okay. Alright, now we just have to live one more turn without the Thoughtseize. And we will be in a alright spot. I wouldn't say great, but alright. I think this is going to grab Stomping Ground. And then, unless we, you know, Celestial Purge something, if they... I guess we wouldn't need to Celestial Purge something, though, because we could untap into Fairy it. Which might be fine. I don't know, we'll see. Or we'll get Inquisition this turn. And they will make the decision for us on what we get to do. If they leave the Teferi Realm, we're going up with it, but I have to imagine that's going to hit the bin. And if that's the case, then we're going to play Saheeli. Go up with Saheeli. Yeah, so this is going to grab... So this will grab Stomping Ground, that'll grab Basic Plains. Can't believe how close we actually were that last game just to, like... I mean, if they didn't have a Scavenging Ooze, we could have sent a Lightning Helix upstairs. And, maybe we would have been in business, honestly. I think that's going to hit the bottom. I know that we're unlikely to be able to combo them, but I do still want to be able to play our Felidar Guardians out. And I just want to dig for lands here, I think. Pretty hard here. I'm hoping they go, like, you know, land, play a thing, Thoughtseize you, and think they're going to get to take away our Felidar Guardian. We have two. Now, this stinks when they go, like, Thoughtseize you first, and then just hold up a bunch of mana. That's a problem. Tidal Escalar. Okay. I mean, if they don't have another land, and we rip one, could get them. We'll see. If they take the Celestial Purge, then we just know what we're in for here. Okay, so they did take that. They have a land. That can only be Fatal Push. Oh, that's a Thoughtseize too? Yikes. Okay. Well... yeah, sometimes you don't really make very many meaningful decisions, huh? So I think we do this first. Good news is we can Celestial Purge this away. So we can... Do we take a land to guarantee our 4th land? Or do we just take another Felidar Guardian? I think it's land. Any order. Play this. We can now scry. Now I think this is okay, because in the face of a removal spell, I want to have something else to do. So I think we're gonna let our Saheeli get hit and try and Celestial Purge this on end step to not be vulnerable to another discard spell. However, that is awkward in the sense that if they just go discard spell you right now, we do kind of have to take the... If they discard spell us, it's awkward, because then even if we Celestial Purge it, we just get the Felidar Guardian back and they take the Felidar Guardian. Assuming they're just going at us. Don't like that. Just gonna leave everything up. But we're not gonna go for it, but I do think we Celestial Purge this away just to get this card back, and then we can... okay. That's okay. So that's how they're interacting with us, is Abrupt Decaying that. So we will get this back. We will draw our Ice Fang. And I think we say pass. Or do we want to just get this down? No, I lied. We're gonna go at this. They've already used 3 pieces of interaction for our hand, so it's more likely that they have removal for our creatures. And I'm fine with doing this, trying to find something with this Oath that's relevant, or just finding more birds, because that's what we like to do. Now, next turn, assuming that we get to do whatever we'd like, could be in an alright spot to just maybe even main phase this Ice Fang out. I guess that isn't ideal since they don't know about it. Another title, yikes. So this is just, I guess in a way it's almost like Crocs are right. It's just Thoughtseize you tribal. Take away all your decisions, tribal. And they have a path up, which is a bummer. So we'll play this out, draw a card. Do we want to play that out? Actually, I don't think we do. Because this allows us to leave up Path and Ice Fang. Which I think is fine. So I'm curious what they're going to think that we have. Okay, that's fine. I think we are going to end a turn, path this, play out our guy. So chances are they're now going to path this in response, so we never get a chance to really do much. Giving them a land is obviously not great when they're stuck on 3, but I think getting the card draw off of this Quaddle is, I mean, I would consider it to be pretty relevant at this point. We just need action. Really looking for like Teferi. Teferi would be awesome. To force them to path. In response to the Teferi, we can bounce their Goyf. Don't have any, or I guess they can just do it now. Maybe this is push. We just enable to push for him. But yeah, we'll cast this out. I think they're just holding on to it because they realize they don't have to do it yet. They can wait till we play that out. Well, that won't. That is awkward because it does make me want to. Man, I wish we. Really wish we could punish them for this. Let's grab Forest. Lay this out. Play that. No reason to hold anything. We'll hold this back to force them to either they can use removal on it or they can plan to use up all their mana to lure us it, in which case it would be in an alright spot to end up blocking list on 1. Okay. Man, blocking list just ruins this deck, doesn't it? Alright, that's fine if they end up using that for that. Leaving up 2 more mana though. So, interesting. They could have played that out on 2, which would have been worse for us, because then if they play that out on 2, they get to still kill our thing, leave it at 1, and that can disrupt the combo. But I guess they're afraid of us having, like, exact Path to Exile. Proving problematic, but this means, of course, that they're leaving up Abrupt Decay or Assassin's Trophy. Oh. Well, they wanted to lure us? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we could rip Felidar Guardian into the combo. We'll see, but we can do it. Target us, that's fine. We have a Celestial Purge to answer this. I think we're going to do that now. So that's gone. Felidar Guardian, come on, come on. One time. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. We have a shot. We have a shot. This has to hit a Saheeli. Come on. Oh. No, no, no. Man, that's such a bummer. So only threw one Saheeli too, so he had a reasonable shot to hit there. Oh, that's just so backbreaking. Put ourselves in what I would consider to be a pretty alright spot, and then just kind of got dumpstered for it. I'm going to take this opportunity to block, because otherwise they could put us in a situation where next turn, if we don't block here, we go to 3. They could do something like, you know, play another Goyf and really get us with it. Are they going to give us just 1 draw step? I mean, we're at the point now where we have to go for it anyway, so if you have the interaction, you can leave it up, but if you don't, there's no point in faking it. So are we just dead? 6, 7, 8. No, we're not just dead. I mean, assuming this is Abrupt Decay or Trophy, we're in a bad spot, obviously, but we aren't actually just dead here because they didn't flashback that Lingering Souls, because now we don't have to block. Okay, they're leaving that up. If they had done that, we'd be basically just toast, because we'd be in a spot where we absolutely, like, actually have to block. And if we had to block, we would just be dead. So, cards on top, opponent. Are you scared? Are you scared? Man, that would have been such a good time to rip a path too, and just like get this Tarmogoyf out of here. But I think we are in Saheeli or bust mode at this point. And they're aware of that, so... Alright, hit me, dealer. Hit me, dealer. Hit me, dealer. Oh, no. So... we can Detention Sphere the tokens. Try to block the Goyf. Hope they have nothing. That's all we can do. And then next turn we have to rip Felidar into combo again. Assuming they have nothing, obviously. Alright. Yeah. So frustrating. Oh no. Alright, we wouldn't have got there anyway. Man, that was a frustratingly brutal game. I mean, it's how it works sometimes. You just get beat up on. But Magic moves on. So let's hop back in. Hop back in there. See how we can do. Hopefully a little better for us this time. Hopefully a little better for us. Man, we've been really good at winning these die rolls, however. So yeah, I mean, I think we just keep lead on birds. Get a basic here since we have the Ice Fang and multiple birds, so we're in a spot where basic is good. And hope that whatever they have is not going to completely destroy us here. Not a Luris deck, so that's something. Not a snow-covered island, too. Merfolk! Well, we can fetch around that. Isn't that awesome? We can't fetch around, so... awkward. So we can't double spell in any meaningful way this turn unless we Path to Exile them. And I don't really want to bank on Path to Exiling them because chances are they're just going to like Silver Gilladept us. I'm actually going to just play this Saheeli out. It means we do have to fetch an island. So we are potentially vulnerable to Island Walk, but with this Path to Exile in hand, we may be able to get around that. And this is also just the most mana efficient for us. So we're going to play this out. Scry. And hope we see a Felidar Guardian on top. Mana Leak. Is that good enough? Is Mana Leak good enough? So next turn we can, off of our Forest, cast our Birds, leave up 3 more mana. So Mana Leak, or I think that is good enough. I know against the Aether Vial it's not the greatest, but the way we lose this is if they start double spelling off of casting spells as well as Aether Vial, and Mana Leak, holding up Mana Leak is better when you have a card like Ice Fang Quaddle in your hand anyway, because you're allowed to, you know, not end up wasting that mana, if you will, for every turn. So next turn when we draw this, we'll be in an okay spot because we can leave up everything in our hand. You know, we have options to do all of it, and that's potentially super awesome for us. Card we do need to watch out for, however, is Force Negation. Most of their decks are playing that, some number in the main even. And so we can't just free roll stuff like that. Is this just Merfolk Trickster, tap your bird? So I guess now we only get to leave up 2 things instead of 3, but that's okay. That one can hit the bottom. I think in this situation we're going to leave up Mana Leak. So without playing birds, we still get to leave everything up, I guess, which is fine. And we will try to trade off this Ice Fang Quaddle if we can with this Merfolk Trickster, with the hope that, well, actually if they're attacking Saheeli, that's fine. The things the way that they currently are. Yeah, they can, because I don't want them to be able to like Lord off of Vial and that. So Silver Gilladept with another Silver Gilladept. Is that worth countering? I don't think so. I think we really just have to worry about the Lords, because unblockable is the problem for us at this point. So we know they have another Silver Gilladept, which they could Vial in at end of turn. Yeah, I think we need to save most of our stuff for the Lords as best we can, specifically the Island Walk ones, because they are likely to Vial in the Lord rather than cast it, so that does make Mana Leak less good in that situation. Maybe that changes things. But now that they've cast a spell pre-combat, I am going to try to trade this Ice Fang Quaddle off. It's never going to get to trade with the Lord, So I think just trying to trade period is fine for us. And if they put a Lord in here, so that way we, you know, can't block kind of thing, then we do get to path the Lord. So if they like activate, put a Lord in, sweet. So it looks like that's what they're doing. I just hope they don't have like exactly Spell Pierce, I guess. Get to path this one. They're tapped out of their vial. Don't tell me you have Spell Pierce. No way. In the main? That would just be... That'd probably be game ending, actually, right there at this point. Because, we'd, like, have to rip Felidar Guardian this turn at that point. I guess would be the spot that we'd be in, and that's, you know, we never want to be in the spot where it's rip the card or lose this turn, obviously, so... Good news for us is that we do get to potentially Birds and Astrolabe. I wonder if they're debating, like, unsummoning? If they play like that, or Vapor Snag or something. I guess they could have Dismember. I'm trying to think of anything they could have for 1 mana that's giving them a reason to pause before letting us go to blocks. Outside of just taking their time, you know? Yeah. Actually, let's scry first. So we can try and find... Ooh. So this could let us... Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Draw. Draw our Teferi. Play out Teferi. I kind of want to bounce this so that way they can't do anything really to us. Bounce this. I guess we should have technically left up our planes then and tapped our birds. They are gonna dismember our birds. Okay. So they did have dismember. Okay, that's fine. Bounce that. I guess we should have left this up, huh? Okay, so we know they have 2 Silvergills in their hand. So chances are that's staying on 2 for certain. We do have draw. Yeah. Sorry, I'll explain why I bounced there. My thought process was bounce because what I don't want to have happen is if we go up and they have double Lord, they get to kill our Teferi without us getting a card out of it potentially. Or pressure our Saheeli. I just don't want them to have any pressure. The one downside to that is if we did go up, we would have the potential to this turn scry, draw with Teferi to get a build your own opt basically in our turn to try and find the combo. However, I just don't think that that's really where we're at. So now we know they have Merfolk Trickster too, and an Aether Vial. So they have Merfolk Trickster and 2 unknowns. Ooh, that's gotta be decent for us, right? So what if we copy our birds, it gets haste. With that copy, it dies too easily doing that. I think we have to do this. Bottom that one. I think we're just trying to keep as much around as we possibly can. So we will very likely throw this bird under the bus at this point. If it means that we get to... Oh, I suppose... It's going to happen right now, isn't it? Awkward. So we don't get to throw this under the bus. That's fine. Now we have to figure out exactly how they're planning on attacking us. Because my hope is that they will attempt to kill the Saheeli with a lord of some sort. And we can kill said lord, be in a good spot. However... Excuse me. I feel like if they did have a lord there, they would have tapped our bird during our upkeep instead to lock us off that mana. Okay. Do we want to mana leak that? If we mana leak that, I guess we might as well. We're probably not getting anything out of this anyways. Wow, they just let that happen? Interesting, for sure. Let's see what their attacks look like. Teferi, are you going to send another one at Teferi too? 2 at Teferi. 1 at Saheeli, maybe? 1 at Saheeli. That's fine. I don't think we need to act then. Yeah, I think that's okay. Obviously, once again, I mean, it's not great. It's not what we're looking for, is for our protection to go down, but... we have a plus here. Another mana leak. So we can now... Jace off this, and this. We can Jace go up to 5. Chances are they have minimally one thing to do though. And I just feel like they have a force negation though. That's why they wanted to get rid of that Teferi. But I think we're at a point where we have to go up with the Jace. I also purposefully tapped this land because Astrolabe will give us access to our... whatchamacallit? Our, what we're looking for here. I think I'm going to go with them. Astrolabe will give us access to our red mana for this. An Aether Vial in the bottom? No, you are allowed to have an Aether Vial. Kind, gentle person. We're going to undo this because we may have to respond to something here. What I'm really confused about is why did they not pay the 3? Was it just so they could draw this Aether Vial? That seems aggressive. Are you vialing something in? If you're not vialing something in, I kind of like where we're at. You are. Okay, that's scary. What is that one going to be? Okay, we will deal with that now, I believe. Wait, hold on. If we deal with it now, they know they get clean attacks. I think we want to leave it because they are much more likely to. Yeah, they're much more likely to play around like Path or something now. They might honestly just attack like all at Saheeli to make sure Saheeli dies. Did put one vial up to 3. I guess it makes sense now that the other one's at 2, but. So, Saheeli, Saheeli, Jace, Jace. So, if they have a force, we are in a bad spot. Just kind of have to hope here. Nope. Alright. That's probably game for us then. I can't imagine there's anything we can rip here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah, man, I'm just hating the fact that I wasn't able to make those adjustments that I wanted because Supreme Verdict is the card that we need here. guess we play this out, but I don't know that we have any shot to win here. Nice fan quad to the bottom. Yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up. Really kicking myself for not being able to make the adjustments that I wanted. Supreme Verdict is just everything that we need in this matchup. Without it, it is pretty tough. Veil of Summer, maybe even Timely as well. Don't like Mana Leak at all if we can afford it. I like having all the interaction, as much interaction as possible. Maybe it's just like an Oath. I think it's Oath over Astrolabe if we are trimming one of those, because I want to be able to fetch around Island Walk as best as we possibly can. And Astrolabe allows us to do that better than Oath does. Timely's not great here, but if we can keep ourselves off of Island Walk, it could provide a decent amount. Or is it better to leave 2 Mana Leaks in to answer the Island Walk card? Is that just better? The Spreading Seas? No, I want to wait a game life. If we get into a tricky spot here, I just want to be able to do that. I guess Veil of Summer could also potentially work as a counterspell for Spreading Seas, which would be pretty funny, but it's not really what we're intending to do with it, but you know, it could show up. You never know. You never know. Alright, ready to go. Just waiting for an opponent here. See what they're looking to do. Have to imagine that Force Negation is now in the deck if it wasn't before already. Probably was, but even if it wasn't, it now most definitely is. We shall see. Might want to submit their opponent. Might want to submit. I have a feeling you're going to want to get your deck in. We shall see what they're going with. My assumption is it's things like Force Negation and Dismember. Okay. Don't like that we have an island in hand, because without that we'd be able to fetch around this really easily. Boy. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna fetch. So if we fetch Plains off this, we have Helix, but we don't have Coatl. If we fetch Forest, we have 1/2 of this and 1/2 of this off that. So we'll fetch a Forest with this one. We have Lightning Helix as well as Ice Fang. Hopefully trade off with some stuff. I wouldn't mind getting to the point where we can play this Jace and shuffle back this Steam Vents, but I'm not going to skip a land drop to give us that opportunity. I just wouldn't mind running up some lands at some point, and we will have 2 redraws as well as our natural draws, so the chances of that happening aren't 0. But, you know, they also could just Spreading Seas us, and then it makes playing the Steam Vents out less stressful because we have islands anyway, so you never know. Looks like they're really in the tank here. Considering they had walked... Oh no, they have clicked since it came in here to mulligan, so now they're debating on their mulligan. I was thinking, since it took so long for them to submit sideboarding, we could have even been in a spot where they were AFK or something like that, but it appears to not be the case. They did keep 6, they did put a card on the bottom. We will go Forest, Astrolabe. Love that it makes you pay with your 1 mana in your pool. Okey-doke. Can pass along here. And pass along through their turn. No Aether Vial is good for us. I think we might be getting to that point where now we're to the fetch around islands here, because this can grab a plains. Silvergill's frustrating, actually, because Mirror Regery revealed, huh? Okay. Let's just do this now, because it doesn't really matter. Draw ourselves a card as well. 2 opponent. We too can draw cards. Okay, yeah, so I think we're going to be on the fetch around islands game plan here. I want to leave up 2 removal spells here, more than anything else. Knowing that this already has Death Touch, they're not going to be able to free attack into this, but if we play our Saheeli out, we could run ourselves into a spot where then they go like Animate, Mutavault, Dismember your thing, kill Saheeli. And that is no bueno. Another one revealing the same one. Okay, yep. Alright, you have more 2-mana things that draw cards than I do, opponent. You win that game. You got it. We are going to just trade off here if they attack. I think we're just trying to trade off resources as best as we possibly can. They don't have a land. Okay. So we really need to prioritize this path as an uncastable when in doubt. Here, we definitely don't want to cast it. So I guess this is going to have to get like white-red or something. The awkward part is, I guess now this Oathiness changes that. I was going to say we don't have double blue for Jace yet. I suppose we should have played this first, so if we have to hit a land. Okay, Felidar Guardian is good for us. I was going to say, so if we have to hit a land, we'd be in a spot where at least... excuse me, in a spot where at least we could cast our Jace, which is where we want to be. So I think we will grab like Temple Garden or Sacred Foundry. Obviously not a blue land with this. Cool that this lets us cast as though they were any color, as opposed to turning our lands into any color for Planeswalkers to try and get around that Island Walk. Merfolk Regery, or Mirror Regery, is a bit of a pain, because what that does do is it does get to tap down our Snaky Snake here. All the more reason to trade off if we're given the opportunity. Yep, we're just going to snap that. Would love to get to Lightning Helix their Mutavault at this point. That would be great for us. I think I'm going to grab Sacred Foundry here so we can have double red. Just in case. They could be leaving up Mana Leak. They could just be really unfortunate, since they haven't hit a land yet. There are a wide variety of things they could do. Either way, we're not going to cast anything here. I want them to just discard instead. I just don't want to put ourselves in a spot where we feel like we have to act, and then when we do act, we end up dying. I just don't want that to happen. Like if we play something and they get, you know, instead of discarding, they get to Mana Leak it or something, would be unfortunate. Tidebinder Mage. Okay, that's actually a... Is that a good draw? Yeah, that lets us Saheeli plus hold up Lightning Helix, right? It does. So they could have... They are just going to force negation us. And Deprive entered because it's double blue. That's fine. We can be patient here still. The chances are our Jace will get to land then, and we'd be in a pretty good spot. If they miss on another land here, I think we're really, really in a prime spot. They don't, of course. But this probably just means Mirror Regery is coming down, and if that's the case, we can just get this Lightning Helix out of our hand right meow. I'll just do it now. So now they would have to have another Force of Negation if we go for it. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. That is a bummer to say the least, huh? Really wishing I would have taken that out. I wasn't really paying attention. I guess it saved us a bit more life, but anyway. We will take this opportunity. Okay, we're going to grab a land. Another one we don't really want to play. But I think we're at the point now where we kind of have to start playing them out. I kind of want to Jace, bounce this, play this, hold up, path. Because then they would have to... Yeah, I'm in for that. Yeah, I'm in for that. So if they have Force here, which I can only imagine now is the case, they go down to 2 cards, and then it's just Mirror Regery, Mutavault versus what we have going on here. Not the worst. I'd have to imagine they're just like contemplating if they even can use this Force here, if they have to hold it for a Saheeli. Because their clock isn't great. Once again, really wishing I had killed this Marrow Regery, because now we might be in a spot where they get to, like, play another Lord, like a Lord of Atlantis, untap an island, animate Mutavault, go crazy. So maybe we'll go upkeep Pat. Okay, so they are going to do this. So they are going to force negation. What did they pitch here? Whoa, they pitched another force? So they had 3? Oh my goodness. Okay. I will pay 2 for this. Go to your upkeep. We're going to pat that on upkeep because we don't want them to get free untapped value out of just casting some stuff. It is a bummer that we had to finally play out one of our islands. That does stink for us, but kind of is what it is. This could be like Deprive. If they have Deprive, though, I think we're fine with them using it on that, because this means that next turn we could attempt to Felidar Guardian, blink our Oath, go for the combo. And once again, they're just sitting here debating if their counterspell is worth using or not, or you know, if it's worth taking up their mana kind of thing, if they can afford to use it, or if they're in a spot where they need to save it for the combo, or what the deal is. But you know, we're already through 2 Force Negations, 3 Force Negations, and a Deprive. Okay, so yep, they did have Deprive. So now they can land, activate. And that was a downside that we had, but I think we are in a spot where now, unless their last card is Force blue card, we are in a pretty good spot. So I think we tempt it here. And we see what we run into. And if we fail, having a failsafe of the Ice Fang is definitely not bad for us. Yes, I'll use the ability. Yes. Goodness gracious. Any order. Okay, that one tapped. Yeah. Oh, we can take this off now. You only wish we had another one. But we will get to, after they go to attacks, try to trade with this Marrow Regery. Unless, of course, they go like 3 lands for another Marrow Regery, tap our Felidar Guardian. That could be potentially rough. Okay, so they do have Island Walk. Okay. So it's 4, 5, 6. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are not dead. Which is good. We do not get to block, however, but we have Draw Step plus Ice Fang. Man, if we lose this game, I'm gonna be a little upset. We were in a pretty good spot for quite a while there. Come on. Hit me, dealer. Lightning Helix. I mean, keep us alive. So I guess we have to Lightning Helix the Lord of Atlantis, but we could still die, which is awkward. So if they have land if they have land and Lord, we are still dead. Right? Yeah, I think Landlord kills us. So they do have land. Oh my god. Come on! Oh my goodness. Man, not being able to play around that island walk was huge. That was huge. Man, that's a brutal one. That is really, really, really brutal. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Once again, don't know if there was really anything we could have done about that, though. Their hand lined up with triple force, double deprive, and enough stuff to matter. Now, me misclicking and killing the... not the Mirror Regery did come back to bite us. That dealt us dealt us like 4 points of extra damage or so. Off of Mutavolts and other things attacking. So, had I killed the Mirror Regery, we could have potentially had one more turn. Because then that Lightning Helix would have... Yeah, I think we have at least one more turn if we kill Mirror Regery. Because we take less damage from the Mutavolts previous. The, whatchamacallit, the Silver Gill is not able to attack into the Felidar Guardian. As opposed to the Mirror Regery, so getting to tap our stuff down. So, yeah, a pretty big punt there. Who knows if it would have made much of a difference? We may have just drawn, you know, another land. That was kind of the spot we were in that game, anyways, just ripping a bunch of lands. So you never know, but definitely a bit of a mistake on my part that could have potentially cost us. Well, it did cost us the opportunity, I guess is the way to say that, because it did cost us. It's just a matter of what it cost us. We're not entirely sure of. In the dark, do we keep this? You know, I am. I'm really sick of mulliganing. And so that may make this keep wrong. I maybe should be looking for a couple more action spells, but Othanissa gets to find something. Ice Fang Waddle gets to find something. And that being said, I mean, we are going to die to an ad nauseum. But, you know, we'll try. See if this can find a Teferi. It does, in fact, find a Teferi. That is good for us. So, Ice Fang doesn't really do anything in this matchup, assuming it is, in fact, ad nauseum. We shall see. They have yet to do anything. I'm just going to play this out and pass the turn. I obviously don't like giving them the information that we have something, but I don't know necessarily what I want to grab yet with this Prismatic Vista. I would assume it would end up being a Plains, but then if we want to grab a Plains, then we can't actually run this out in a turn, which is a bit of a bummer, so I do want to be able to do that. So we will. I also can't imagine the Death Touch on this being super relevant here, so... we're also not just going to jam out this Teferi. I don't want to be in a spot where the Teferi is vulnerable to getting countered and then untapped and being killed. And since we have this Mana Leak up, it would mean that they would have to have a decent amount of interaction to prevent that from happening. So we're going to give that a shot and see what we can do. Unfortunately, this lonely little snake is not exactly what I would consider to be a clock on our opponent at this point. So that is a bit of a bummer. I guess we aren't 1000% that they are on ad nauseum at this point, but that's fine. We can answer that. So it looks like fairies instead. So Teferi is huge here. Do want to be able to take care of that. Yeah, definitely fairies. I think we counter this one. don't want it to hit us. And then we will get white with this. And then we can untap and to vary them. I guess this Mutavolt makes that a little awkward if they do have a removal spell for our Ice Fang, though. Because our removal spell is Lightning Helix and it costs 2 mana. Which stinks, because this does feel like our window to land this, but I guess we could also get forced here. So I'm going to play this out. Definitely have something. So I don't think I am going to play the Teferi out here. We will go to their upkeep and try to kill the Brazen Borrower on their upkeep. And then if they have something to say about that, then they will be tapped down. Let's make red out of this green and try to kill this right now. I would much, much rather trade our Ice Fang for a Mutavolt. Okay, so they have Mana Leak here, which is fine. We don't need this gone. It just would have been nice. And then we can... Man, I would just love to draw a Mana Leak here. If we drew Mana Leak, that would be so great for us. Because then we could Teferi minus Mana Leak. So we need to be wary that this is typically a deck playing Thoughtseize, and that's a problem. Okay. I think we're fine with taking this trade. Taking them off of mana is fine, and it also means, ooh, that is really good. Because now, as I was going to say, this means that we can Teferi minus on this without being scared of it coming back down and killing us. Or without being scared of the Mutavolt coming back down to kill us, I should say. So, very, very happy that we traded when we did. And now, if they try to land like a Jace or something big and relevant, we do still have a Mana Leak for it. Do we Mana Leak that? I don't think so, because if we really feel the need, we can Jace bounce it. Just keep this tempo-y game playing up. Or we instead can Felidar Guardian, bounce our Teferi, bounce this again. See, all the tech. Yes, please. I would like to draw another card. Okie doke. And then we are in a spot where we now have Mana Leak in case they do have something potentially problematic. They are going to Thoughtseize us. Do we Mana Leak that? And force them to tap down. It means they can't cast their Brazen Borrower out for us, but it does mean they for sure take our Jace. Although, chances are they're probably taking our Jace anyway. We'll let this happen. If they take our Mana Leak, we still get to untap and slam Jace. If they don't take a Mana Leak, if they just take Jace, then Mana Leak keeps them from making any other plays this turn. And if that's the case, we get to Felidar Guardian, blink our Teferi again, or Felidar Guardian, blink our Oath of Nissa. Those are both if we draw lands. Otherwise, we can just play out a couple of Arkham's Astrolabes and some things like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, this one will get Mana Leaked. It isn't great, but I think if we can just keep this board a little clean, we're in a pretty darn good spot. And of course, we can just rip the combo, and who knows. So now that we drew a land, I kind of like... Yeah. I like Blink Oath, and see if we can find it here. Did not. Bummer, bummer, bummer. We will play out one. I don't know if we actually want to play out the other one of these because of Thoughtseize. But you know what? They just had a Thoughtseize. They didn't cast another one to be able to take all of our stuff. Wow. Okay, that's not what we were looking for. Was draw a land, oath into a land, draw 2 more lands. That's clearly not what we were going for, but you know, I guess we did play around Thoughtseize, which is kind of cool. 5 and Wrangle. Okay, that gets to kill our Teferi, which is a problem, but I guess it doesn't get to do anything once that happens. So need to draw. Oh, well. We'll see. Do you have... No, you don't. Okay, cool. I was gonna... trying to think of if they had, like, Dismember. It's really the only thing I could think of. Okie doke. So, against fairies. I want to be able to answer the permanents on the board. I'm kind of in the market for trimming on counter spells again, and just having Veil be our fight there. Because I like all of our creature removal. Yeah, I kind of like doing something like this actually. And once again, just trim it out on like one of these, because they are going to try to Thoughtseize us. So holding on a counter magic can be not great. Obviously, they also are pretty efficient. So Mana Leak isn't always on. Celestial Purge can answer Rankle, can also answer Bitter Blossom, if that's a thing, and so can Detention Sphere. So I like that for those reasons, as well as Detention Sphere can come down and eat all of their tokens, and if it eats all of their tokens, sometimes you can get in a spot where, like, you know, sweet, all of a sudden now they're going to die to their own Bitter Blossom or something. Who knows? Alright, yeah, we keep. I mean, we got 4 spells, 2 of which are redraws, one of which is probably one of the most important spells here. Pithing Needle for our Teferi, that is rude. I can only imagine that's what this is hitting. I'm gonna laugh really hard when they, like, name Windswept Teeth and just wreck us. That would be funny, but funny, not ha-ha funny. Good news is we do have Detention Sphere as an answer for that too. I hadn't anticipated Pithing Needle, but I guess that is a card that makes sense here. I mean, you're just naming Teferi, right, opponent? Like, are you gonna try and get really cheeky? You can't shut me off at anything, really. And if you don't name Teferi, Teferi can bounce that. So, I mean, it has to be Teferi, right? That's the card that just beats you. You are a flash deck. Alright, well, let's get back to what we're doing. I think it's going to be Prismatic. Nah, I'm gonna Windswept Teeth for Forest, because then maybe we will want to Prismatic Vista for Mountain. And right now, Prismatic Vista is the only way that we can limit our damage input. Saheeli Rise, so you're just gonna try and keep me off the combo? That, I mean, I guess, but interesting. So question here is, do we want to Oath or Astrolabe? I think it's Oath. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Man, our 20... Maybe it is 22. I think it's 22. Our 22 land deck loves to always hit lands off of Oath-iness. Yeah, it makes sense. It is, you know, a higher percentage of that happening, but it does feel like it is, you know, close to like 70+% of the time. Oh my goodness. And then this one just comes down to names Teferi? Well, we're looking for a Detention Sphere. I'll say that much. That much is for certain. We are looking for a Detention Sphere, and we are hoping that we find it. Flooded Strand? You're just going to try and cut us off? Opponent, what are you doing? Come on. Come on. Drew another land, too. Now, I think we just grab white, I guess. Alrighty. And we'll try and play out of birds. See what they got. Nothing for the bird. Okay. Maybe flood it. That is ambitious, friendo. To not go with the card that is obviously very good and obviously Ashiok. Well, I'm glad I got my fetches out of the way now. Let's see if they hit our detention sphere. If they hit our detention sphere, that's actually like just insane for us. Oh my gosh, that would be so brutal. Because then I guess the only way we can really win is through Chase. Oh my gosh. Don't do it. That'd be so rude. Wow, they're gonna like prison us out of this game. I guess. I guess at this point we're blinking Astrolabe to dig for detention sphere. I guess that we can try and set up. Maybe it was actually better to try to play Teferi there and keep plussing our Teferi. Because if we can resolve our Teferi, we can get to a turn where we can Fell at our Guardian, Saheeli Combo them in one turn after bouncing it. Maybe that's better. Hit a Saheeli. We're down 2 Saheelis already. That's a bit of a bummer, to say the least. We are going to have to start going after this Ashiok at this point. I don't want to just get, you know, randomly milled out of the game kind of thing. Is real rough for us. And now we're to an awkward spot where I want to play this Teferi. Yeah, maybe it was... I didn't really consider last turn too deeply. Yeah, especially if they're going to shock and pass. So this just reads Cryptic. So we kind of need, like, Veil of Summer. By Veil of Summer, did you perchance mean you wanted more lands? No, I did not. But I will take what I've got, I guess. Okay. Yeah, this is a tricky situation our opponents put us in. They're just like super prison us out of this game. Like, we're not gonna win, but you're not gonna win either. Mahahaha. Kind of the spot we're in. And I guess we can play one of these tapped. Or could just Fell at our Guardian again, I guess. Let's do that. Let's Fell at our Guardian again. This time we are going to blink Oath in search for Jace. Okay, so they do feel the need to respond to this one. Mystical Dispute. And they shock, so they have another Mystical Dispute. Yikes, that is going to make this game tricky. Tricky. Or it could mean that they just have Cryptic and they wanted to use their Mystical Dispute there. You gonna reveal something, opponent? Nope. Okay. Are you going to activate your Ashiok anymore? Or are we to the point where you don't want to lose it? My goodness. This is what they refer to as the wrong half problem. We are most definitely not drawing the cards in which I would prefer to be drawing. I don't think we can just jam this Teferi at this point, which is a bummer, but I think is just where we're at. Kind of hoping they go like end step, cast a couple of things, and we can just like path them. Not that one though. Not that one. All right, we'll let them see this and make their choice. Now that we have double path, they are targeting me, right? Why can't I see that? Yeah, they are targeting me. Yeah, we'll let that happen. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about that. So my assumption is they'll take our Teferi. We'll just do this on their upkeep now that we have 3 of them, because they're not going to fight over it. It's going to be hard for them to win at this point, though, which is kind of nice. Hard for them to kill us with creatures, I should say. Because we have 3 Path to Exiles versus their couple of cards. So my assumption now is they'll trade this. Yeah, they'll trade this Ashiok away. Oh my gosh, they hit our 3rd Saheeli. Oh my goodness. So randomly milling your opponent is not supposed to be good, but when you just like always hit the right cards, it definitely is. It's pretty sweet. I suppose we didn't need to play that pre-combat. Let them know all of our cards but one, but we are on a Felidar Guardian beats, and we are down to. We have 1 Felidar Guardian, 1 Jace, 1 Teferi, 1 Saheeli left. So, yikes. That's no bueno. I guess we should probably play this Windswept Teeth out, if nothing else, just to try and keep another Ashiok from getting us with it, kind of thing. So we should probably play that out. We don't have to crack it necessarily. We could, but okay, Lightning Helix, trimming down on our clock here. Doing some real good work, hopefully. They have 3 cards that are not lands in their hand, and we have 3 removal spells in a land. They've also ran us out of basically every option that we have. I do still feel they have a Cryptic, which is obviously not great for us. I think we are going to sack this on end step. We're getting to the point where this only has, I was just going to say 1 or 2 more fetchables anyway. So I don't want to draw them and then have that card be dead. As well as the really, really tiny amount of... Ooh. I think we just save that. We don't want it to get like Brazen Borrowered and then they just get to do it all over again, I guess. Sorry, as I was saying, yeah, I just don't want to get ran out of fetchables, especially if they do, like Ashiok us again or something and just rip through all of our fetchables. I suppose I should have just taken a quick count of fetchable lands left while we were there, but oh well. Oh, okay. So we now have actual 0 clock. That is far from good for us. Very, very far from good for us. Yeah. Well, at least we're both kind of just flooding out here. That's maybe a good draw. I think we play this out. Oops, overtapped. Play this out, then when they counter this, we can then Detention Sphere these. They didn't counter it. Whoa. Do they have like Noxious Grasp or something? I'm gonna go after these. Just chew a couple more. Sweet. So eat. Now we get to slam this Jace. Get to Brainstorm. Whoa, my goodness. I guess I kind of want to go like top, so they can't see our answers in case they do thought seize us here. I just don't want that to get us. Whoa, we did it. Woo! Yeah, we finished with the, albeit sad, 2-3, but it is what it is. We got a little unfortunate in some of those games. A little bit of a misplay here or there as well too, and that's kind of what it ended up being. But you know, I had fun. I do still enjoy the play patterns of this deck. I do still really like the way that it plays out. As I said before, it's the Splinter Twin they let me play with, so I'll play with it for as long as I can, basically. I will be interested in running some Tron with 4 mana Karn in it coming up here soon. That's probably going to be one of my next videos. So stay tuned for that if that's something you're into as well too. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, everybody.